Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sher Vancouver podcast. Today, we are excited to have our first ever Bollywood drag king here with us. Khushi wears many hats, from being an actor, burlesque performer, dancer, writer, drag performer, and producer. Khushi has been bringing the Bollywood drag king moves from Victoria to Vancouver, where we met them. Mm-hmm. And their drag persona, Bad Shah, has become a drag icon here. And we are so excited to welcome Khushi. So welcome, Khushi.
Thank you, Dhanyawad.
Bringing the Bollywood in.
Bringing in.
We're so happy to have you.
Thank you for having
listeners,
me.
Your mom is here. Tell us about that.
My mom is here. Hi. Yeah, I'm just really happy. This is the first day I'm meeting my mom after like a little bit more than a year. She visited me that long ago.
Oh.
And I just told her, I was like, actually I have this podcast I'm filming and you should just totally come. And yeah, when she was in Mumbai, we used to have a lot of video calls where she was just like, I just wish I could like see what you're doing and see what's going on. And I'm like, yeah, the first day you see me, I'm gonna bring you in.
Wow.
You'll see it all.
Live in action.
Live in action.
She seems like a proud mom.
She's
happy to be here.
She is. I hope she is. Yes.
We got the nod.
We got the nod.
So, Khushi, we're happy. We love to have parents in the room supporting their child, especially someone who's breaking barriers, with bringing drag king, especially into Vancouver, where Neri and I got to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the first Bollywood drag king that we've ever met. Yeah.
And
I
still,
didn't know that.
Really, the only one that we've seen.
Isn't that crazy?
It is, yeah.
Come, please, more. I would
Badsha's
like more.
welcoming you to join.
Yes, please join me. Please join me so we can do duets. Please join me so we can have a lot of fun. This family is very welcoming and yeah.
Aww, that's great. We wanted to have you on today to learn who is behind Bad Shah, which is Khushi, and wanted to learn about your journey from Mumbai specifically to Canada and what brought you here to Victoria now.
What brought me to Victoria? Oh my God. Well, my improvised self, I'm a improv person and I say yes and to everything. That got me here. But also I wanted change. I wanted a life that was a bit more like relaxed. And Mumbai being the city, it's called the city of dreams, but I didn't even know my dreams were. And I was there and there was so many people living the same dream that dreams kind of get lost after a point. So I didn't even know what I wanted. And when you don't know what you want, you do commerce.
Oh, okay.
That's what I learned. When you don't know what to do, you just do commerce. And I took commerce, and my brother was already in Victoria, and he was like, you should come here. You would like this city. And I was like, I trust you. I trust my parents that they were like, that might be a good shift for you as well, since I was so like determined for some change. And I was just like, let's just see what happens. And I didn't come here to pursue any kind of performing arts. I moved here to just be like, yeah, we'll study business, and that's what I was studying. And somewhere down the road, that business just faded away, and opportunities kind of just were there, and I was like saying yes and basically to anything and everything that came my way. Like absolutely.
That's courageous. Yeah, that's brave too. So
Very
you're here. How long
interesting.
have you been here for? A few years, right? I think we were talking about that.
Yeah,
as well,
this is fifth year running right
okay,
now.
Fifth year. Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah.
And what was that from Mumbai to Victoria?
What a drastic change, yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Life in Mumbai. First, in general, for me, I was a kind of an introvert growing up. So I was usually just in corners and rooms, and I felt unseen for the longest time in my life. So to move to a city where there weren't that many people compared to Mumbai, you're seen, but you're also seen in like, you look different, you're acting different, you sound different. And I also have a Mumbai accent, which there's not that many people that I met that had similar accents, and I was getting all sorts of things like, we don't know where you're from, and I was like, ouch, I know where I'm from. And yeah, that change was interesting because I also came during COVID, and it was like locked down for a whole year, which could have been bad, but for somebody who takes a really long time to digest into things, it was nice because I was not ready to be surrounded by people that are not like me, or that don't like fully understand where I come from. And I didn't know where socially I was. So that 1 year was just me journaling and processing where I was. And in a way it was good. In a way I just didn't get to make friends. And it's interesting moving into a new place in general. Victoria is small, so it's a little bit harder compared to like maybe cities that have more people and more opportunities. But moving that far and seeing the people that I was like, y'all sound and look so cool, and I just want to be a part of this, but I'm not, because I don't sound exactly like them, and I don't understand a lot of like pop culture references or things that people have grown up over here listening to, or they don't understand what I have grown up listening to.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to explain to them who Shah Rukh Khan is, because I'm like, hey, how dare you?
Yeah. How dare you?
How dare you? Tumhe koi hak nahi hai.
Yeah.
Anyways. But yeah, it was interesting. Very interesting moving. 1 year of just sadness and processing, and then second year of just like, I can do things. There's people I can talk to. Where are you? And then third year of just like finding the best people I could have ever found, and having the closest bunch of friends that I can call home.
Yeah, I think like, I'm just thinking of international students that come in for better opportunities and such. I haven't heard Victoria to be a big hub for that. So is there a lot of international students that come into Victoria as well, I guess, as opposed to Vancouver, Surrey, the Lower Mainland, I guess you can say?
I think comparatively, it's probably less, but for the city that Victoria is, it's grown over the years, because I remember when my brother came, he was like, that there weren't that many Indians or international students that were there. But when I moved, he was like, it's already like 2 times more. And then now it's 3 times more. Yeah. So I think it's growing.
It's growing, yeah.
I think living in the city is becoming harder with how expensive it's getting. Yeah. And I think that's with Vancouver and Victoria both. But it's interesting how much it has changed, and I can see when, even during orientation, when you are getting introduced to what the city is, I can see so many like just wide eyes and openness of people to be like, where are we? What is this place? And it's interesting because there's so many weathers.
Yeah.
You are adapting to like a million things. You're adapting to people, you're adapting to an accent, which you're just like, for the first 1 year, are just like, what did that person say? Like, why? Did I hear that right? You are adjusting to seeing chai tea on menus. Naan bread. Naan bread. If you say that, please don't say that. You're just adjusting to the weather. From where I come from, Mumbai doesn't have 4 weathers. Mumbai has 2 weathers, which is summer and rain.
Yeah.
And even in rain, it sometimes gets like kind of moist.
It's
moisty.
like tropical rain, if anything.
Yeah.
It's hot. Yeah.
So to walk into a place that, because I also came during December, so the like sun was setting at 4 p.m. and I'm just like, it's dark already.
You're like, where did I come?
Where's the vitamins?
Yeah.
And I was just like, what is going on? And within 3 days, there was snow. And I'm like, it's heaven now, but it's very cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a drastic change, I think, for folks that come from abroad to see. I mean, people love that too. Some people are like, oh my God, I'd never seen snow in my life, and they're so excited and such. But the reality of the coldness, I mean, I'm born and raised here, and I still am not a big fan of the snow.
Yeah.
Can't ski, can't snowboard.
I think the snowfall is cool. That's magical.
Yeah. I think that's everyone's take.
Yeah.
Snowfall is beautiful from the inside.
Once it's settled, I'm like, can it fall again?
Yeah. It disappearing is my favorite time.
Yeah. Which is gone.
So I think what you shared was so important, like the inside of like what international students feel when they come here, right? The weather changes, the language difference, and pop culture reference difference. And I think Sher Vancouver has a lot of international students. And, you know, we have heard their stories, and I think Neri and I, we have the privilege of being born and raised here. Yeah. But when we meet international students, it is a big deal, and it's something that should be applauded. And it's not only courageous, but it takes a lot of guts, discipline, and for you to pick up your life. And I think it's so interesting you said you were so introverted, because when we saw you performing, we see like this extroverted, outgoing person. Yeah. So it seems like you've really blossomed from your time of moving here in 2020 to now, 2024. Would you say that's how you are, where you are in life right now?
I 100% agree. Something that I had gone through was I went to a lot of counselors when I moved, because I felt so immediately alone, because I had to overcome being that introverted back home as well and find my way through, like, I have to talk. I have to like get to know people, especially if I enjoy doing things like dance. If I enjoy like being out there. If I like watching Bollywood movies, I have to show that to people. I have to be that open. So I had worked through that, and the moment I came here, I was like, I feel like I'm back to square one. I am back to being that like kind of introverted, isolated person. And I felt like I had to go through some counselings, and those counselors brought me to the term cultural shock.
Yeah.
I had no idea what that meant.
Yeah.
I had no idea what that felt. I think the combination of everything of like language, like the way people like dress, talk, pop culture, like families, upbringing, everything is different here.
Yeah.
Like whatever you learned in life, it's absolutely the opposite, or like not the opposite, but different.
Yeah, it's just a different way.
Yeah, and that was cultural shock. Like and my counselor was like, the reason you're going mute is because you are in shock. It's not because you're going back to your introverted personality. It's because you haven't processed where you are. And I was like, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect to see that. And I think a lot of international students just sometimes that shock tends to be longer.
Yeah. I mean, like, good for you for like reaching out to a counselor and seeking that help, because I feel maybe some students might not know about that, or they feel afraid and they kind of want to stick in that bubble of maybe keeping it quiet, because also Indian culture is very like we suppress our feelings. Let's not talk about it, under rug swept. So I mean, good for you, and also I hope this resonates with a lot of other students, for them to also seek that help and guidance to process it as well, because it is a huge change for anybody to pick up. It's a huge
change, and usually like universities have counselors. So like if I know expenses are a big thing for when you move as well, especially if you're a student. That's another thing. You're not used to living by yourself. You're not used to doing regular chores. You're not used to like budgeting, taxes, finances, all these like new terms that make you an adult. Basically, you're not used to because you're a little student. You came on a student status, so that in itself, that can also be overwhelming. I could see that being overwhelming, and that's why I think I'm glad some universities have access to counselors, and most students should use it.
Yeah, quick question though. I was curious to find out if like this university, because I find that I hear that a lot from students as well, is that they don't know anything about taxes, or they're just regulations within Canada, and then they just expect everybody to kind of pick up on that, and boom. Yeah, you guys should get this down real quick, real fast.
Yeah.
Do the schools do that for you guys? Help you out in any which way?
Or workshops and things?
Yeah, workshops.
Like I've seen workshops online, but at schools?
I went to Camosun, and they had some like guides during. I would highly suggest all international students to attend orientation.
Okay.
That's where you get to know everything. That's where you get to know where to go for healthcare, where to go for like there is taxes help as well. They have I think something called as tax banks. So it's accounting students that just help you.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like kind of trade.
It's hand in hand. Yeah.
Hand in hand. You're still doing your taxes. They're just like guiding you through it. And yes, absolutely. Universities have that for us. I think it's just less marketed.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know that there is, and that people can reach out to the schools, because I've heard there's a lot of lack of that. Some friends that are students and such that have come from abroad. So it's good to know. Good to know.
And it's also, I think, hard because they're not as communicated. It might just be in a brochure within a pack of orientation stuff that you get on the first day, and it looks like just a regular calendar diary, but it has everything that you might need. I honestly got lucky because my brother was here, and he was just like, well, if this is how you're feeling, you should probably go to a counselor. I wouldn't have gone. So I'm honestly very thankful to him.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I think it, like you said, for students listening to go to orientations, and maybe if profs are listening, to make it more accessible and clear. Because even I found going to UBC, like for example, accessing counseling, you do have to search, and like there's low cost counseling and things like that. Just I think from our conversation, it seems like making these resources more accessible.
Absolutely.
So people can access them.
Yeah, absolutely. And also reaching out to hardest thing for me to do, I'm saying this, but it was hardest thing from myself as well, so I understand. Reaching out to people that have actually lived here that are also international students. If you find people around in places, it's hard to approach because you feel so new and you feel so like naive. But just taking that one step to be like, hi, I don't know how to work on this, can you just like guide me through it, or can you just like send me a resource, or it will change and it will help you in like the long run, and little highs and little hellos will add on to the confidence as well.
Oh, totally, yeah. I think that's a good point, is actually speaking up. I think some people are super shy about that, but once you never know who you're going to come across and connect with when you do say that simple hi. And I know Vancouver's kind of known as that, of people are a bit closed off, or not maybe so open, but a simple hi, you might meet the right person that'll really take you.
And maybe they're shy too.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe the person you're talking to is just like, I don't know if I should approach. I can just be here.
Talking about being shy, you are not shy when you dance. Not at all.
That is true. That is my coping mechanism. That's how I deal with my shyness.
I know. Art, or way through arts, right?
Yes.
So tell us when you started dancing, and what dance styles did you take growing up?
Yeah. Well, I was obsessed with Bollywood, as everybody can probably tell.
Yes.
I'm obsessed with anything and everything related to drama. I love drama. I love watching chaos. Let's just say that, in movies. in life
I
gets
was like, good that you said in movies.
in movies. I will finish. I'm like, I think there needs a little more addition there. Yeah, I wanted to do Bollywood, and I had expressed to my mom sitting over there that I really like dancing because that's what I see in Bollywood. And second thing I know, I am in a Bharatanatyam class.
Wow.
Within my expressing, in my little 6-year-old brain didn't know what Bharatanatyam is because I'm 6 years old.
I don't know either. So
Yeah.
tell us more, show us more.
Yeah. Just start like dancing.
Oh, yeah. Renita does that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did ponder my mom for like 3 years that I need to go to a dance class. I just need to do it. I need to look like Shah Rukh Khan. I need to like move like him. I need to I just need to do this. And I end up going to a Bharatanatyam class. And I was the most like awkward person on stage too, because we used to have more group like choreos, and I would be, all my photos are looking at the other person dancing because I couldn't remember anything. Just like, I really don't know what I'm doing here. But I had passion. I had passion about the presence. I felt the most free, even if I wasn't doing good, moving rather than talking. Mm-hmm. I just felt like my expressions could come out way easier if I was just like, if I could just like say, instead of hi. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, why is that weirdly easy? Why is our bodies can be so open to experiences and sharing those experiences? And it's such a beautiful form. So I learned Bharatanatyam and then kind of moved into doing hip hop. Mm-hmm. There was a stage in my life where I was like, I'm never gonna be a dancer. And that was right after I stopped doing Bharatanatyam and my 7 years ended. And I was like, I don't think I'm that interested in this anymore. But I remember seeing a lot of dance shows online, and
like the Indian dance shows? Oh my God, I love those. They're so good.
I'm gonna name some. I used to watch Dil Dosti Dance. I used to like watch like at the time ABCD1 had come, and I watched DID. I was obsessed with watching reality shows. And I saw all these raw dancers that were just like, yeah, I just grew at home. And I'm just like very good at what I do just because I do it a lot.
It's so true. Like the India's dance talent is like most of them are like learned by themselves, dance in their rooms.
Like the competition is like real.
It's big and it's
very big. But the start of it, just like seeing so many people be like, yeah, you can just do it.
Yeah.
Rather than like thinking too much about it. That, watching all of that got me into just blasting music in my room and going crazy for years. Mm-hmm. Like for years, I was just obsessed with Indian street dance styles. Yeah. I was obsessed with how so many of these dancers moved, and I was obsessed with how each part of my body can have movement. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what is isolations? How does this work? And I was introduced to workshop culture right after, and I'm glad I have a very supportive mom, because she, when I was supposed to like do 10th grade board exams, was just like, yeah, just go for these workshops. Just do it. Just do it. It might help you pass.
De-stress, and focus,
And it did. I used to think of dance as my recharge. Mm-hmm. So I'll be studying for like 4 hours and then feeling like I'm just a stiff body, and dancing for like 1 hour and I'm recharged. And it just like felt like a current. So it's just very nice. I just really glad that I got into Indian street styles. And that's kind of the combination of my dance, basically. Because I do a fusion. I do both styles, and I'm obsessed with Bollywood. So it's all under the umbrella of each other. And they're all happy. They're all living in my body.
Yeah, totally. I know that. Well, that's how you've gotten to drag and Bollywood mix and to creating Bad Shah.
Oh, yes.
Which we want to hear that story of how that all evolved and how you blossomed in that as well.
It's Bad Shah, oh Bad Shah, Bad Shah, oh
Bad
Bad Shah. It is literally that.
Okay.
It's literally Bad Shah, oh Bad Shah, that, like, Shah Rukh Khan. That man has done wonders. I was 5-year-old when I saw him.
I was going to say, did you meet him?
I wish. Okay. I have this memory that I think I've seen his reflection at Mannat. Because I whenever I used to pass Bandra, I was like, that's him. I know how his reflection looks like. At this point, I should. And I'm pretty sure I saw it. Everyone thinks I didn't, but I did.
You did.
And only Shah Rukh Khan can answer the fact that I didn't see it. So,
Sharu, if you're listening.
Sharu, if you're listening.
Hello.
Hashtag tell me if you saw my reflection. Yeah. You can tell I'm well aware of Gen Z terms.
Yes.
But yeah, Shah Rukh Khan, basically. I wanted to be him. Okay. I wanted the charm he had. I wanted the magic that he had in his eyes. I wanted to look like him, act like him, wear clothes like him. Just wanted to be him. And I saw, like, I moved here, and for me, drag came on a very local level. I saw more local performers. I saw this amazing artist named Noah Lott, who's Victoria's, like, one of Victoria's, he calls himself king of everything, because he is the king of everything. And I saw him locally, and I was like, you dressed up. You look so cool.
That was your first time seeing drag?
Yeah, that was my first time seeing drag. And this was one year into me moving to like Canada or Victoria. And I was like, oh my God. And I was just obsessed. I was obsessed with seeing drag for some time. And then I started like watching more drag as well, and actually knowing the international part of drag rather than just the local. And I at some point in my journey a few years ago had a little bit of a downfall, because I was not doing very well in studies, because I got more interested in performing and I got more interested in arts, because I saw Victoria is filled with art, and there's just so much of it around. And I saw so much of art around me that I was like, I just want to do this. Why am I focused so much on something that is not relating to me? And I took a few steps back from business, and I kind of had to. And that changed, because immigration's not easy on you, like if you do those kind of changes. Yeah. So taking that step back, I was like, okay, all right, it's gonna be a hard decision to make how I move forward from this. And for about 3 months, I knew I was not going to have income coming in directly, because I was not on work or like study or work permit. I was visitor permit. So that kind of meant like I had to figure out a way to like earn. And I saw drag, and there was somebody who was like, hey, you should just do it. You should just try putting makeup on. And when I tell you, before coming to Victoria, I couldn't even put an eyeliner. I was so bad at makeup. I'm very tomboyish in general, so I was like, I don't know how to do this. And I'm still like going through my own like gender exploration journey too at the same time. So there's just a lot going on. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to figure something out. And I asked one of my friends to help me how to do basic drag makeup. I looked absolutely horrible my first time doing drag, but it was just supposed to be a one-time thing to just see how it is. Yeah. And I did it, instantly got addicted, because I feel like I'm seen. I feel like people see what I'm doing. And the first time I did drag was Jalebi Baby. Oh, and I was a waiter, nice. And I had a tray in my hand, half long hair, and I wore a hat, and you could barely even see my makeup because it was so bad. I'm glad you can't, actually. And I'm just walking and dancing with my little, like, I do a lot of tricks with the waiter, the trays.
tray.
And I could just see the audience joyful. And I could see in their eyes the same eyes that I had when I saw Shah Rukh Khan.
Oh.
And I was just like, it's just excitement.
Wow,
There's
yeah.
just like this presence that I can give back for some reason. And I was like, I can be Shah Rukh Khan. I can fulfill my dreams. And I hadn't even gotten a name that night. And I brainstormed and I was like, nothing's coming closer than Bad Shah.
What a great name.
Yeah.
What a great name. And was that your first time in Victoria performing? Was that in Victoria?
No, I'd performed dance before, but
Oh no, I mean as drag.
yes,
Okay.
that was the
So I was
first
like,
time.
good song choice.
Good
'cause
song-
People
yes,
probably
very-
knew what you were talking about.
Yeah, I was looking for more things that do have English lyrics. I don't feel the same about that anymore. I'm
Yeah.
openly doing Bollywood songs that
Totally.
don't have
Yeah.
English
But that's
lyrics.
a good song, a good first step into
First
drag
dipping
king in
in.
Victoria.
For sure.
So
And they had never seen Bollywood drag in general.
yeah.
This was
Yes, sure, yeah.
before even like Jolene came and
Mm-hmm.
performed at like on stages in Victoria. So they were just like, Bollywood? We know about Bollywood.
They're like, we know chai.
Yeah, we
It's on our menu.
like we know chai tea, we know Bollywood.
Naan bread.
Naan bread. Okay.
Aww.
And I did it the first time, got instantly addicted, got instantly happy. And
Yeah.
my Shah Rukh Khan dreams came true. And now I can be Shah Rukh Khan whenever I want. And I would call myself young Shah Rukh Khan. There's a whole song about it.
There is, yeah.
Tasha made it. And
Yeah.
I just feel like...
You
that's
feel
the
like
track
that
in my
song's
head.
about you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a track in my head. Every time before I'm supposed to go up on stage, I'm just like, I'm just young Shah Rukh Khan. I got this.
Aw,
This is great. This is great.
that's good. Hype. Well, Neri and I got to meet you at Nyler's event. That was our first event where we saw you perform, and me and Neri were like, who is this person?
Yeah.
And your
And your mom was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And I'm like,
was-
oh my God, that's so cute. Your mom's here. But we didn't actually, I was just too shy to
We
say,
were too
"Hey."
scared to say hi to your mom.
Violet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Hi,
was
Mom.
my second week in drag.
Wow.
Second week
We
in
would
drag.
Oh my
never
gosh.
thought that. We never thought
I
that.
had
yeah.
not also been to Vancouver for performing ever. So that was like brand new. First or second, I think second show in Vancouver that was, but it was in the same week. And I was just like, whoa.
Wow.
Whoa, there is, because before that I was just performing with like mostly people that were doing English songs, and it was pop drag, and not
Yeah.
really the Bollywood drag that I do. I wasn't performing with people like me.
Mm-hmm.
And I got here and I was like, everybody knows the lyrics to the song.
Yeah.
Everybody is singing along, and this is actually a celebration.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
actually a celebration. It feels like a celebration, and I'm obsessed with Indian weddings. So anything even remotely close to it, I get happy.
Yeah.
I'm just like, if we're celebrating, I'm happy.
Aw.
Yeah, so you got brought on from Nyler. How did you guys make that connection with, like, did you meet Jolene and Ra there as well, or?
Well, Jolene and Ra kind of think they were stalking and found me. Let's just say that.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do
That's
it.
just how you do it.
That's just how
That's
you
how
do
you
it.
do it. I didn't know I was the first Bollywood drag king. And I just started because I almost had to. I wanted to do something that could like not only just make me feel creative and joyful, but also help me with income at the time. Not anymore. But they found me on Instagram and they were like, no way you're real. I was just like, look real to me. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, do you know who you are?
This sounds like Jolene's
No.
questioning.
You're like, Shah Rukh Khan. I'm Shah Rukh Khan.
I'm like, yeah, I'm Shah Rukh Khan. Just here with a beard. That's all. The only difference. We look the same. You can compare. And Jolene was the first person to tell me that I was the first Bollywood drag king, and was just like, can you just come to Vancouver for a show that I'm doing? And I was like, it's been 1 week that I've been
Wow.
performing.
That's awesome.
And I couldn't, I genuinely couldn't believe it, because I followed Jolene and Ra, looking up to them.
Of
And
course,
I still
yeah.
look up to them, because
Yeah.
they're such amazing like performers. But I followed them and I was just like, oh my God, even if we get to like meet, I would be so happy.
Yeah.
And here, one of them is booking me for a show. I was like, dreams?
Wow.
I didn't even know these were dreams, but they're coming true. And it's insane. And as I said, I'm yes and all the way. Anybody, just like, yes. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's gonna be fun. And I got there. I was I think at the Junction, the first show that I did with Jolene and Ra, and I was amazed by like people that were singing along. And even at the Dosa show, I was just like, this is such a celebration. I think it was for Pride.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember they had the doors open because it was kind of like pandemic-ish
Yeah.
time to
Yeah.
pandemic-ish
Yeah.
time, whatever that means.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
I would love to circle back with your mom being at the show. Like, how has it been with your parents telling them you perform as Bad Shah, showing your videos, as they know you as Khushi, but now they see you as Bad Shah.
Yes.
So how's that been?
It's been interesting. I think like journey of first being a performer and then accepting what I do for myself is hard, and then sharing that with parents is like, now you're making it official.
Yeah.
Now it's like happening. My mom was actually here when I started doing drag, so it was a little bit easier for me to tell her. And I remember just being like, so there's this show, they just want me to do like turn myself into a guy. And she was like, okay, cool.
Wow.
I'll be there. I want to see it. And the thing with my mom is she said this from like day one. She's like, as long as the people that you are with are safe and good, I have no problem with what you're doing.
Mm.
And she's happy through it all. And yeah, she's smiling right now. But yeah, I told her, and she was just like, okay, let's see how this one goes, because I'm just usually saying yes ands to things, and just like we never know where it's gonna go. And I perform, and I keep performing, and now it's like becoming official. And I remember we were actually at the show where I did with Jolene. She was like, this is actually big. This is fun. This is fun. And she was like, I just can't believe you transform yourself like this. And today, actually, we were in the cab, and I was just like, yeah, how do you feel about like me getting into like drag? And she was just like surprised. Surprised. Every time I do something, she's like, I just can't believe that it's you. I just didn't even know you had this much talent in you.
Aww.
And I'm like, stop.
Did you cry?
I would have, but I had just put on makeup.
That's true.
My dad, on the other hand, he knows I do drag. He just hasn't made the connection of drag kind of being such a huge part of like gender identity and queerness.
Right.
He hasn't made those connections, and a part of me still, I know, feels like he might not be okay with that. Part of me also feels like maybe that's an opening door for him, but it's baby steps for him that I need to take. And something that I do feel and heavily feel is it's harder to tell people, especially from a different culture, about identity, gender, queerness, when there has been a lot of generational trauma burdening it down. It's weird because like I love this person, but a part of me is like, you might not accept what I do. And that does make me a bit sad. But I also know this person loves me back, and that might be a longer process of acceptance, but I think I'm okay with going the longer route than just having to lose that. And I see both sides. I see the generational trauma, and it is those generational traumas that cause somebody to act in that way. Sitting from a place where I am like, okay, I'm going to go for therapy and understand why I need to know about all of these things and why I need to heal before I pass it on to somebody else, before I become rude to somebody else, and before I put the same rules on somebody else that I was put through.
That's really big awareness for yourself. I mean, that's great. It's showing that, your counseling has given you that perspective. I don't think a lot of people can be as empathetic or as aware to have that. And I think we've had many guests to understand, like, our parents should be supported and our parents should, but we also need to understand, like, they have their own journey, which you're giving your dad the time and space. Sometimes parents sadly don't come around, but this is why we're doing the podcast, right? To bring these conversations to the forefront and to celebrate parents who are accepting, like your mom, and like who's cheering you on at shows and who's here right now.
We love it and we celebrate it. Yeah.
We do love it. We celebrate it. And I think that's what the hope and joy we try to bring, but also the reality.
The reality. And it doesn't justify the behavior.
Yeah.
It doesn't justify somebody putting those boundaries. Doesn't justify somebody like blocking someone's dreams or not accepting somebody. Doesn't justify any of. But is it wrong that something like that has been going on for such a long time and for generations? Yes. And in some way, some parents might not change. Some parents might remain like that. But we can change how we act.
Yeah, how we react. And we have to just give them the time and space, and hopefully they come around.
Hopefully.
So even educating themselves, right?
Yeah. And a lot of times it's the saddest thing, or like the harshest thing to say to somebody, but they might just need therapy.
I think it's a reality.
I'm just like, I know so many people have healed or like even benefited from it. Might as well.
Yeah. Well, I also think some people don't, like, I've had a few people say this to me, like, oh, therapy is not always the answer. And I said, actually, you're right. It isn't. There's podcasts out there. There's books. There's friends and such.
There's journaling.
Yeah, totally. There's so many different avenues,
ways.
Right? But they have to find what their niche is, right? Yeah. And we just hope that they get to that point in their life where they found something.
Yeah, something works.
Yeah, whatever works for them. And we hope that parents and friends or families do find that to help them accept and acknowledge us folks. Yeah. We're all human, right?
We are all human.
Yeah.
We all want love. We all want to give love. And as soon as that can happen, it's nice.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to transition over to pretty much you hosting some shows in Victoria that you've been doing. I know we went to a deep hole there. Super deep. So we're gonna bring it back up.
We'll bring it back up. I'll do some moves.
Some moves that
there you go.
Hey, the Hrithik Roshan inside me is coming out.
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
So, thought it was just Shah Rukh Khan. I was just like, I got it all. I got them all. I got all the Bollywood actors covered. They're all in me.
Clearly, we see that.
I looked at them and everyone was like, "Oh, maybe you're like attracted to them," and I'm like, "No."
You're attracted to their dance
be
moves.
them.
Yeah. That's a
am
difference.
them. Actually.
Oh gosh, yeah, I love it.
That helped with the transition, right?
You need movement is what I've gathered from this as well. You're like, instead of saying hi, you need to wave. So get it out.
Instead of hi, you sometimes just need to wave or like check in, make eye contact.
Yeah, so like how has it been? You said that Jolene was like, you're the first drag king, that like Bollywood especially, like how has that been for you? How's that journey been, especially in Victoria too? Because you said there is a South Asian community there. I don't know how, it's not that big. I have some family out there, have a few friends out there too.
It's really small.
Quite small. So how was that being introduced into Victoria with the Bollywood drag king scene there?
Yeah. Oh my God, very intimidating. I'll be very honest. It was, the first month was so much fun. I was just having fun. I was just like, okay, I'm learning how to be a drag performer. I'm learning how to do the basics. I'm learning how to do makeup. I'm learning how to like act. I'm learning what my style basically is, which is also changed, but I was just experimenting. It's fun, flowers everywhere. It's just like violins in the background. It's a Shah Rukh Khan movie. Yeah. But then comes kind of the reality is you are alone in this. I did feel alone for a very long time. I felt like not everyone in this specific community can hear what I'm saying and can hear the sound of my music, can like put me in certain shows. The struggle was to fit in.
Yeah.
Fit into like just specific shows that are very Western inspired. And there wasn't, like, there's not any other Bollywood drag performer in general in Victoria. So I was just like, all right, it has to be me. Like me. Being in the community for this long, I was like, I have to make my own things to make it happen. I don't need to fit in.
Yeah.
I have to fit out and then show them what I am capable of and what I want to bring to the table and really be loud. Very opposite from how I am. But to do what I enjoy, to perform, and that the start of that 1 month, the way it started, to get that feeling back, I was like, I can't be in that rabbit hole. I can't feel like I have to be this person who knows all the pop culture references from the West. I don't need to know the lingo or like the
yeah, you start your own.
Yeah, start your own. And rather than avoiding and trying to fit in, I just have to accept and move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what ended up happening. There is, I think, as most communities and most industries and fields, there is racism. There is, like, POCs, BIPOC people feel like they have to really shout to even, like, basically say hi. They have to actually say way more. They have to release a lot more energy. They have to put in a lot more time to make somebody sit and understand that you are being avoidant and ignorant about a lot of issues. You are being avoidant on somebody who comes from a different place and a different culture. You're being avoidant to somebody who's mixed. You're being avoidant to somebody who's from this land itself.
Yeah.
And that shouting takes up a lot of energy. And I realized that the past year has felt a lot more exhaustion than felt like joy. I wanna give back to the community, but I just wanted it to be in a more natural way that I was also enjoying and reflecting, and it was more equal than feeling like I just have to stand taller, louder, and just be too out there, especially when my personality is more introverted. And the reason I also have social media is more for like marketing what I do and what I am than being like what I do in life. I'm not a very like, hey, eating a bagel.
Yeah.
It's kind of not my like energy. And I'm not that much on social media too. I'm not always scrolling things. So it's just like it demands you to be social after a point, especially as a BIPOC. It felt like everybody has eyes on you because you look different, you act different, you want to be accepted, you want to do so much more. You're doing different things in the first place, so they're already like looking and like, okay, well, maybe we can go watch a Bollywood show, but they don't know anything about it. They're coming from a lot of stereotypes.
Yeah.
And those stereotypes can, like, personally for me, sound racist. And I am kind of over the stereotyping, because really trying to put out art And it's hard to put art out when anything you put out, everything gets connected to something that they saw as a Western representation of the South Asian community or culture. So, yeah.
So it's been a journey.
It's been a journey. We are surviving. We are thriving.
Thriving.
We're not
You are
surviving.
thriving.
There is a community in Vancouver that I definitely, like Jolene, Ra, Nimrat, I can count them as my family, and anytime I feel like I need any guidance of how to like thrive in Victoria, they're there. They're a call away. And that's, I think, the beauty of our culture is that we are so collective, and we want to take care of each other.
I think what's important is like to remember that Jolene, Ra have really paved the way, and you've collaborated with them, and now we have so many South Asian drag queens. But I think drag queen culture is being more accepted, and we wanted to have you on today to really show that there's also drag kings.
There's also drag kings.
And they need more love, they need more support, because you are really breaking barriers. Like I was telling your mom, you're really doing it big here in Victoria. And just to maybe, I think we need to integrate drag kings more. Neri's sister's wedding, Jolene got to perform. That was a big deal because that wasn't happening like 5 years ago. And I want to see more drag kings at Indian weddings. And
I also want to see more Bollywood drag kings or like South Asian drag kings.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because women in general, like, you know, it's harder. And I think that's why in Vancouver there's a queer scene called Man Up, where it's just drag kings.
Drag kings,
because they don't get their own space, they don't get their own venues.
True.
People are not supporting it as much as drag queens.
Yeah. I knew a lot more about the struggles of drag king when I was starting. I was told some things.
Yeah.
And most of the things were you will be talked upon. Like if you're in a show with a drag queen, she's going to take over. Everyone's going to clap for her way more than they're going to clap for you. They're going to be the eye of attention. Like that's what people are used to seeing. You might be a surprise to them. They might not know who you are. They probably don't even, like, I'm like narrowing down personally for me, they don't know what Bollywood is. They don't know who a drag king is.
Yeah.
They're just like, why do you have a mustache in your face? Aren't you a drag performer?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do I explain to you? There is different kinds of drag, and it's definitely frustrating, and it's because of like shows that don't have drag kings, and it's like the culture has made it isolating for us to shine. And personally for me, I was like, I really have to work 3 times harder in a show for it to work, because a drag queen is getting that attention regardless, because that's the expected standard for the audience. That's what they're here for. And then they see me and they're like, well, you got to do something different. You have to grab their attention from zero.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is challenging. Like everyone does, you know, go to see drag queens. You don't hear often like, oh, let's go see a drag king show.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's important for listeners to understand, like, really how hard it is for you to show up and surprise all of us and really own the stage and
absolutely
pave a way for others to join you. And hopefully, you know, a couple of months from now, there'll be more Bad Shahs.
There'll be so many. Oh, my God. I would love some little baddies around.
Like backup dancers for you?
Oh, my God. No. I want them to shine.
Oh, okay.
I
remember when Jolene had that. Backup dance.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, Jolene. Okay.
I have a little collaboration that I might be doing at some point, which might have background, like just Bollywood dancers, but I've always liked to dance with people, so it would just be so fun.
Yeah. Okay. Can you share those 2 handles then where people can follow you?
Yes. So you can follow Spice It Up Victoria, and you can also follow me, which is viny.vinyl. Has nothing to do with Khushi, but I just like vinyl records, and Vinny used to be my stage name in Mumbai.
Okay. And your other Instagram, your main?
My main drag Instagram is I am Bad Shah, which I am.
We'll send the link.
Yeah. You can find it somewhere, I'm sure.
Unfortunately, we're at a wrap here, but what a pleasure to have you sitting with us,
Thank you
conversing
so much
with us, and sharing your life journey so far.
Yeah.
Here in beautiful
As our
British
Bollywood
Columbia.
drag king.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to chat. I'm so glad that we got to make this work.
Yeah, we are too. And thanks to your mom for showing up too, supporting.
Yes.
Hello. I'll do some more dances.
There we go. As we end up.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Outro.
Whoa.
For our listeners
Outro.
only, Bad Shah is going for it.
Whoa.
And on 1, 2, 3, we're going to say bye.
Bye.
1, 2, 3.
Bye.